All right, let's start. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Sarah Sadouk. I'm part of the Create Apps Championship team, and it's my pleasure to welcome you today to the Accelerator Program Kickoff, which will be an introduction to what the Accelerator Program will be. And we will be covering every phase of the Accelerator Program today, as well as share some of the exciting news that happened this week. So welcome to this exciting session. We will be starting at 3:05 as we speak, and end the session at 5 o'clock. So this week, we had the pleasure to see on stage finalists pitch their idea. The 12 finalists pitched their idea on stage at the Museum of the Future, and we also announced the winners. So just to give you a brief before we jump into the winners, some of them are here in the call, and welcome to you all. This year was a very prominent year for the Create App Championship. We received 4,710 enrollees in the competition, and we have been assessing 30 prototypes. So every prototype that we receive has been assessed by 2 and 3 online jury. Some of you submitted the prototype. To that, we selected 24 semi-finalists that pitched in January, and then the final happened in April, the 15 and the 16 this week. So we had on the 15, we had the demo day, where we saw the 12 finalists pitch in front of 5 different jury from the tech industry. And we also selected the 4 winners that are Boom, Brainy, ByByte, and Atlantis Hero. They had the pleasure to get awarded by His Highness Sheikh Fazan, who has launched this initiative in 2023. It is part of the Create App initiative in Dubai that aim to position Dubai as a global hub for innovation and mobile app development in the region. So our goal with the Create App initiative is to really position Dubai as a main hub for mobile app development. And when we say the main hub, we are not just offering a friendly environment for a new startup, a new founder of mobile app development, but we are also nurturing talents, which is why the Create App Championship was created, to give you the tools and the knowledge for you to know how to develop your idea, how to develop a prototype, and how to develop a pitch so you're ready for the market. So as part of the Create App Championship, we are also supporting you with the Accelerator program. Those who didn't make it to the final or the semi-final have now a chance to join the Accelerator program, where we will be providing tools and mentorship that will help you develop your MVP and launch on iOS or Android, depending on which stage of your product development you are in. Essentially, we will be offering you MVP development, how to develop your landing page as a support, but most importantly, we'll provide you with business and technical mentorship and knowledge for you to know which wireframe you'll have to develop and on which platform you can launch using different technical tools. So what we are committing is to help you have ready to go mobile app development that will be launched on iOS or Android. So next, please. So who can apply to this Accelerator program? Essentially, for 45 days, we will be asking you to develop the wireframe and to launch your app on iOS or Android. It is a mandatory requirement, but as a participant, who can apply to this Accelerator program are those who have submitted a prototype for the Create App Championship. We have only 24 spots for the Accelerator program. So we are really looking at those who are extremely motivated to create their business and launch their app on iOS and App Store. You should not have launched the app on any platform, of course, because this is where we come in. to help you do so. So even if you have built the wireframe and you have built the MVP, you can apply to take part of the accelerator program. We'll look into what you've done already. And if you haven't done yet, then we will look into what you already have produced, and we will help you develop the mobile app prototype or MVP. So essentially what we'll be requesting you, because it's a 45 days journey, is to be available 3 hours per day or 20 hours per week, depending on how you want to manage your schedule. But what we assessed is that for us to be successful in that accelerator program, we need you to be committed at least 20 hours per week, so we can work hand in hand in developing your prototype and MVP to launch on iOS and Android. In terms of what we will take for, what we'll be requesting you is to bear the cost when it comes to developing you and launching your app. Anything that is related to AWS, Figma, all the subscription will be on you as a startup founder. This is the investment that you'll be doing. From outside, we will help you with developing the technical aspect of your mobile app. So as a participant of the accelerator program, we are customizing a journey for every 24 teams that will take part of the program. So essentially, you'll have access to mentorship. Every week, you'll have a weekly mentorship with the subject matter expert. So at the beginning, it will be my colleague Fawaz will go into details of how it will unfold, but essentially, these are one-on-one session for us to help you create the wireframe and MVP of your mobile app development. In terms of timeline, today we are going to show you how to submit your application. We'll go through some fun activity, but essentially what we want to do through this session today is to help you apply in the right way through the accelerator program, to give you all the chance to take part of it. So the submission closed on the 25th of April. Following that, we'll be running one-on-one call for those who are pre-selected. And then we'll announce on the 9th of May, the participants that are taking part of the accelerator program. The accelerator program will officially, officially onboard those who made it to the accelerator program on the 12th of May. And then every week you'll have a workshop and you'll have support from technical experts that will help you launch on iOS and Android. We are not taking care of the launch on web app. The scope is really to help you be on iOS or Android. And then finally, by the 27th of June is the last workshop of the phase 3. And no, sorry, the 16th of June is the last workshop of the phase 3. And there we will put you into place for the official launch on the platform. How do we evaluate you as a participant? We'll take into account your app and business ID. You worked intensively during the workshops for many months. You had access to mentors and to learning modules for you to develop your idea. So the accelerator program is solely focused on the technical aspect and development of your mobile app. We'll also see if your mobile app is feasible. There are some mobile app that have not some founders have not developed fully the idea. So we want to ensure that you understood the feasibility of your concept. And last but not least, we'll also assess your motivation and commitment, which is a key and core element of taking part of the accelerator program. So now I'm going to pass on, first, before I pass on the mic to Fawaz, our technical guru, I would like to know if you have any question. In terms of housekeeping rule, if you have any question, drop it on the chat box. If you want to take part of the call, and just raise your hand and we'll allow you to speak. So let me just check on the chat if there is any question for now. Okay, so all right. So I will, Pedro, the dates are fixed for the accelerator program. So we will just ensure while reading your application to take into account what you just shared here. Now, Fawaz, I'm going to hand the mic to you. I'm really looking forward to this very exciting session. And if you have any questions, I will address it on the chat box with the team. Here we have Carmen that you know, and Khadija that you know as well, but also Miriam and Rabia and Tuvara, who are part of the technical guru super team that will help you during the accelerator program. And without further ado, Fawaz, I'm handing you the mic for this exciting session. Good luck, everyone.
Thank you, Sarah. Lovely. And hi, team. Hi, everyone. And probably meeting most of you, or all of you, for the first time. Great. And first of all, congratulations to all of you who has made a commitment of entrepreneurial effort to bring a technical product to solve problems. All right, let's begin. Let's commit as an entrepreneur, right? So we know we as entrepreneurs, we wanted to make your idea, and you as a personality who has taken this problem to take a world a changing opportunity. Let's go and engage in ourselves, appall a little bit. Now, yes, I'm sure you see some of these this or that founder option, right? So first, without me talking anything further, just go to this poll and reflect yourself about these questions, and I want a response from you. Yes. Nice. I'm getting some interesting approaches. Brilliant. Yes. Interesting. A little more time? Great. It is your first commitment. You're on the call to be committed, and would like your response, right? Every opportunity given to respond yourself as a idea owners, right? Idea implementers. Beautiful. Okay, right. In interest of time, in about 10 seconds, I'll be closing the poll. So I want everybody to reflect. Beautiful. Okay. Right. Interesting. Let's go into these, revisit these polls. Yeah. Okay. I'm going to show the results for all of us. Where would you rather work from, right? So about 56% is on sea, 40% is would like to work from mountain. But do you know what is so important about you in that? You've decided where to do it from. So the first step of such a alumni approach after the program is about choosing. It's not just only having options, right? It's not just interacting, you commit. So you've decided to work, decided to build, and you've decided where to build it from. That's very important. And your fuel of choice during all night years, coffee or tea, right? We have a companion, okay, coffee, tea, but we have choose to have a companion in our vision to be built. Wow. Your pitch style, 60% is short and sweet. So which also gives me an indication, just keep your chat to minimal, don't talk too much, right? And about 40% is like bold and savory, just be very straight. Beautiful. And we have inspirations in music, right? And it's very important. You look at movies or visual, energetic, deep dives and strategy on books. Do you know what? You as a design inspirer, this will reflect in your designs, right? So this is very important to bring out yourself into this, get yourself involved. So when you are a person you like music, movies and visuals and energetic, you have committed, and but you also have an involvement with it. So that experience will be reflected. And yes, we have two types of way to build the MVP, right? Exciting and messy. We take everything and we really wanted to be very futuristic. We're so driven by that. Or sometimes clean and classic, right? So you go by documentation, go by MVP, go by what is defined and reflect, but still it has its own significance of success. But again, what's so important is committing, not just about having choices to choose from. So as an entrepreneur, with that humble beginning of committing yourself as an entrepreneur, sorry, which plays an important role. Okay, let's keep moving and let's get engaged. Okay, I'm gonna close the poll. I hope the poll is closed. Yeah, right. Beautiful. Product development roadmap. So already I spoke about few things which is connecting. So now let's go in straight of product development roadmap. So we have three phases to make sure that it's guided, but also it has its own agile way of developing your idea into reality, but definitely within a structured commitment. This is about making sure we build in with agreed phases and timeline, but of course we have freedom to look at what exactly works, because your idea can be different, approach can be different, market target can be different. So it might have to have its own significance, technology and development roadmaps, right? But the phases will be build and test. The second phase will be focusing more on the relaunching, beta test, and market preparation in terms of launching it in overall perspective. But we'll go into some detailing of key milestones within these phases. And the phase three is App Store submission and launch, which is most important, almost your graduation and almost your access to the market. More than of a graduation, you have a product to access to the market and interact with the market. Right. I know it's very important as ideas, as inspirations, we have to be creative and innovations, but also it reflects on how we work about it. All of you have an annotate option on the right next to the screen as you see, right? Next, we're gonna do an annotate activity, right? Why I'm giving you the instruction now is to make sure once I say start, you just got 30 seconds and you're gonna start and reflect on what we listen, right? Great. Are we ready with all annotate? So you know where the annotate is, right on the corner you see. Brilliant. Okay. Team, get ready and draw me a fish. Draw me a fish. On annotate function, draw a fish. Not gonna think much, just quickly draw. You've got only 30 seconds. Let me see. Guys, all of you have annotate permission? I see hand raised. Okay, I see. Yeah. Okay.
Can you do a fish, Mariam? You
Team,
have
let's make sure from the webinar access we have given them the annotate function.
We don't have the annotate function.
Mine is on the web. It's not on the app.
All right, no problem, team. I think I see some reflection. Right, great. For now, I'm sure you can say yes, you can interact with me on yes or no. I see most of the fish drawn, it's reflected here, is also on the of our thoughts. Most of our thoughts are reflected. So in that, I'm going to give you an opportunity. I'm sure you'd have drawn or you'd have thought about drawing. Just can you say, does what you thought is reflected on what you see on the screen? What's the most of the fish is drawn like? Is what you thought to draw quickly within 30 seconds? Can I have a yes or no on the chat?
Okay.
Yeah? No? Okay. Standard of drawing. Okay. Beautiful. Right. Right. Okay. Yes, I think structurally fish goes into most of this thought. And of course, we have different and different approaches. Most of us would have thought to draw a fish that we thought we would have drawn, we learned to draw in our early stages. Could be in your school, could be in your some of your early level childhood, maybe a father, mother, brother, or somebody taught you to teach on the preschool. So that would be something which comes to our mind when we think about a fish to draw in a very short span. If I had given you draw the beautiful fish, you'd have drawn something very crazy. And if I say inspiringly create something else, you'd have created. But when we say quick time span and we want to draw, that's usually our natural thinking, thought process of most of the things. So that's why like most of we tend to draw something of this closer nature, or at least reflecting to what we learned before. But probably we have all these kind of fishes too, what you see on the screen. And you have interacted with them at different time of experience, maybe over a meal, over a dinner, or visually in a movie or aquarium of that nature. But all of that won't count. But if I
Why?
give, yeah, sorry.
Oh,
Uh,
sorry if I was, oh, bad.
okay. Right, sorry, beautiful. Let's go. Right, so with that, we're gonna look at the phase one. So what is more important? Let's reflect to the what is current, what we know further, not just on the idea and inspiration. This building and testing MVP is very important in the line of feasibility, right? So we're gonna develop what we are gonna commit in a very shorter period of approach. So in that, on the week one itself, we'll address the fundamental aim to have your app published in your 45th day or before that. Publishing on iOS, Android, or web are the guidelines for it. Why? We will check what is the latest uh, Play Store, iOS regulatory, how to create an account, what is the lead time it takes to have a developer account. We'll go in detailing into those. And then week two, we will turning into a minimum viable product approach. So if we go in detail, as I said, first, we'll go through the process of step-by-step App Store, Google Play submission, and also to avoid common rejections, right? So this is to make sure that most of it is well thought through, because some of you might even have an experience that would have been the gap of not being able to publish, or few bugs, errors from the app, or administrative structure, Google approving your app, so things like that. And deploying an app also a process which will help. Uh, Okay, I see some questions too, but I'm going to address while I'm going through this process itself. So I'm aware what sort of concerns. Okay, taking on the specific developments and all the approaches and how to deploy web app. And is there a specific way only to do? No, we will go through the process, what is possible, but to make sure that we adhere to this. And then getting into the technical hosting, where is your code is hosted, because there is also database structure, regulatory when it comes to app and privacy. If you are looking at different audience segment, right, which as you say, different privacy controls applies on the latest thing, which takes usually longer time. Why that is they don't approve. So make sure that is validated. And then developer accounts, because this phase has to be foundationally strong, but at the same time you should be able to continuously do this. It has to be viable for you at even after having the app ready, go to the market, look at the phase two, so that we'll also make sure you're setting up your developer accounts, right? And then of course your play console, app listing, and assets. We'll go through all these in detail. Workshop 2 will definitely focus on, and between workshop 1 to when the one-to-one calls, personalization, developing your own product development strategy, all of this will happen in a very customized approach. But however, the common goal is to have your app into a minimum viable product, which is with the technically core features, with the UI, and what is the exact feature you're looking at, what is the development behind it, right? The technologies and all of that in terms of MVP. And to make sure as a user, somebody downloads, it's meaningful, but at the same time, we are also adopting an accelerated mode to have an MVP, which is not complicated, but still has its your core problem to be addressed. Right, with that, let's get into Mentimeter and let's interact on few activities. just to reflect on some of our thoughts. Let's make it very engaging, but I'm going to make it also short and sweet. Let's head while answering some questions. I hope to get every one of you to this. Hope you see you see on the chat also the Mentimeter and the code to get it. On the screen, you see the QR code. Would like to get everyone. And yes, let's get to the Mentimeter of it. Let's interact and let's make this as a engagement. If I were you, I would engage to make sure that everybody remembers our engagement, or my idea is somewhere is exposed in a screen where I love to collaborate and contribute. Right, I see a few of you and hoping to see more. Yes, I see more. Right. With the great competing mentality and engaging mentality, you have gone through the process of create apps, of making your idea to next step. Let's keep engaging, few more engaging sessions to go ahead. All right, I see more. Right, let's get it. Let's start. Just keep joining us. You can see on the top as well the code and the Mentimeter. Keep joining us. Which of the following is the first step to app development lifecycle, according to you? Is it the market research, ideation, development, app launch? What is it? Could be anything. Just reflect what you believe, what your thought is. Right? Okay. I'm going to give more opportunity to participate, giving a little more time, but I also want you to be responsive faster. It's all about actions from this point, commit and doing. So I want to be reflected that in our engagement too. Beautiful. Right. Let's look at what should be the first step of the app development, right? So technically, it looks like maybe market research or development, but its foundation is inspiring through ideation. But can there be a development as an app development life cycle? Yes, right? But what it can't be is the market research. You don't get into an app development environment to bring your product out if you are not done your market research, or if that is completed and you know the synchronization between your idea and the market and why you need an app. So that logistic is finalized. Now we get into ideation of that particular product development through features, which is going to come out as an app and an interaction. So it starts with ideation of that technical composition with your business feature, UI, and all of it. That's ideation, and then goes to development. So let's make sure in this program, we are not really going to reflect 100% on the market research. We are not going to do activities around that, right? But while you're doing the MVP, we will interact. Okay, let's move next. What should an MVP focus on, according to you? More. Nice. Interesting. Brilliant. Okay. Right. I think it's very important to look at what is solving the problem, right? It's the key, because in terms of technological update, it's all about what you use, but as a problem which we all do solutions into a world where the problem itself is dynamic. So it has to be very problem specific. So then we have the better dynamic. So yes, most of you believe in, it's the core functionality, but yes, make sure that we build up all the features at the next phases. Beautiful. Let's go. Right. Now, let's make sure that we as a practice that we are very focused in this program on to make sure that it's all about your app launch, technically developing it. Phase 2, right, is about pre-launch, testing, and market preparation. So workshop 3, on the third week, we will focus on the testing and the feedback and refining your MVP for successful launch. So what does this mean? During the phase 1 approach, the one-to-one coaching and mentoring, we are supposed to accelerate working on building that, because we are not going to debate about the idea. It's not that, right? It's all about the technical execution. what have we done, what is the app doing, what is the database structure, where it is. So involvement. So with that, we'll focus on testing and feedback. And testing is an important composition, eligibility for you to have this app listed, right? And these regulations sometimes changes in a very shorter time span. So it's very important we understand this phase of getting it done, and we'll look at all the testing modalities. And then technical support on demand. With that, especially the troubleshoot your common bugs, optimizing performance, UI UX improvements, and the usability testing. Imagine most of you would have this has a major gap sometime. Why? If this is not already there, maybe something connected to technically having a product which is eligible to be published and distributed, or maybe there is a problem you can't have a lot of users coming in. Could be around this, right? So we'll work on that. And to make sure we have a complete approach towards the agile support, which would require for you to get it published. It could be your database, coding, no coding environment to coding environment, or maybe some of the regulatory in terms of assets we talked about, iOS and app market assets, screen sizes, all of this might have its own impact. With that, let's go to again, let's get to the Mentimeter. Let's get that. I just wanted to make sure that we have time to address your questions, so that I am making sure we understand this particular composition as a process, right? Yeah. We are getting into the Mentimeter. Yeah? Okay. Until we get to the Mentimeter, let me take some questions. I want to find out if there's a specific development software or framework that mentors would prefer us to use, or are we free to use the tools we are more comfortable with, React Native, Flutter? Okay. As I said, this product development strategy is completely personal, right? So it is your idea specific, what you are comfortable with, what you are do. Our validation on that is to making sure that we end up getting this published. Right. So in that, you have the complete freedom to make sure that you use any comfortable approach. But again, it has to fit into the feasibility and reality. That's a validation we'll do. So hope it gets, you have the comfort as far as you have the technical input and why you are doing that. During the program, will you guide us in building the app, or only on how to launch it? No, definitely. So when you say guiding, this is where the critical technical composition comes, right? We need to, and one of your commitment, like you own your development infrastructure, you are paid for your database servers and all of it. What we come on is to build it with you. It's commonly there. We will support you with the technological aspect, fixing it for you, but it's very important you commit and take the leadership, right? So that's more important. We want, this program is not to make you feel like, okay, you don't know technically anything. To me, this is to make you more stronger with technical. You can't be technologically vulnerable at this point. So interact with it. So you have the ultimate approach, and this will be personalized 45 days program, develop program, but to make sure we align the target of having an app out there for the problem we would like to solve. Contingencies in some logistic. Let's have a captured edition of this. Okay, sorry. Okay, also check the questions. Okay, sorry. Okay, that's mostly about it. All right, let's get to the Mentimeter, and or let me keep going into. Yeah, great. Sorry, brilliant. Okay, I see some answers coming in. Beautiful. Click on the part that mockup that represent your navigation bar. So as you know, okay, beautiful. Right. Please join more of you. I see 12, 13 of you. I need more of you. Okay. Beautiful. See, we have a different perspective about the navigation bar, and this problem can reflect it accordingly. But let's look at what is the navigation bar according to this, right? So you see whole bottom navigation bar, tab mobile navigation designs, you are different part of this, right? So it's very important for you to think for your problem visual specific, and also you bring your own ability of what do you think this will work for what user. So decide and commit on these designs, because sometimes we like to be perfectionistly explorative, right? Because this can't be forced upon you, but it's also very important you reflect on what you want. And certain things, if you feel like reiteration, that's your phase two. But this is about getting your MVP. It's to make sure. Let's go next. Yeah. Click on a Firebase logo. What do you think the Firebase logo is? Quick. Let's reflect and act fast. Great. Great. Brilliant. You know what is the beauty of this? Both are the Firebase logo. And one is the latest, the other one is just one before, and they relaunched it, right? So the idea of this is to make sure sometimes some of the technology we have chosen or some of the thinking that we have, to make sure we iterate or just a very quick validation. Okay, this is what it is. This is going to help. So to have a connected dots in terms of to always revalidate in terms of technologically taken decision, what will allow you to make it fast. Because sometimes there might be have to remove a feature which you think may be the most important, but we might have to relook at it. Is it phase one or phase two? Maybe it has a regulatory concern. Like, for example, you want to build an e-wallet or a crypto wallet, or do you want to hold money like a marketplace and distribute as a revenue model? Or can be some of those features, right? It's very important to look at what is out there, what is the alternative to achieve it if we are to take a very rapid approach of MVP development, right? So sometimes we need to relook at, and the options we have chosen itself might have a better subscriptional options. Beautiful. Right. Let's get back. How are you planning to build your MVP? Is it a no code, or is it a low code? Is it a full code, or hybrid, start with a no code translation to full code? This is something you have already started building, maybe, right? I think you are already there too. So this could be anything. How are you doing now, or how are you intending to do? Interesting. See, it's beautiful to see we have a combination, and this also reflects multiple different way of solving a problem, and also maybe certain approach is needed to more market side more than a technology side. So it can be a different technology as an aid. So it depends what your product is. Can we support all of this, or is there anything specific we support? There's nothing of that sort, as far as you are technically clear how you want to develop and you have the resources that you can invest. Now, when I say resources, it's very important your time and the technological commitment. Sometimes we might not know, but if you are taken ready to take the time to guide and do or to change technologically explorative, it works. So there are multiple ways to build this, and absolutely it will be personalized. But as you know, these are some of the common approach. You can have a complete a no-code platform to work it for you, or a low-code platform, or a full code with a very technically appropriate stacks and approaches and pre-builds and hard codes. And maybe if it is a product of intellectual property that you want to look as code base, as an IP, that you could go with a full code, and then or even a hybrid, right? No code transition to a full code, so that you want to get the MVP for now like this and you want to take it. So it's completely up to you, and you will be one of the reason you'll be committing the expenses and charges of these platforms or whatever you decide to go forward is from the day one you are about building a product, and it's the resource that you own and you have, and that it's going to help you to own this by yourself and to take it forward of the scalability. Right, let's move back to the other phase of it, right? And what do we do in the other phase? So when we have done all of this, we move to the phase three, and it's all about making sure we have taken all the efforts and the submissions and detailing of the understanding about what are we going to do from the day one of launch, or if after launching, if there's any bugs or if there's any feedbacks need to be reflected, right? And how do you manage and to make sure all your infrastructure is connected? So if you have a third hosting service, if the hosting service goes down, what happens if you have can't keep some of the content loading? So of approaches of that nature. And then definitely the final progress report, team gains a clarity on how to grow the sustainability of a week 6. So in this, we will look into a real-time upload, and your understanding, is your system capable to have users or is it restricted? Now, if you have any external services like OTP as a service, if you want an SMS to come to a user and you want to react, so there's the OTP service. How does that work? So have you done that submission? Because all of those will be the composition of it and integration of it, right? And then making sure it goes to apps to approval. And it's very important, as I insistently said, we're in a most dynamic environment of evaluation in terms of these AI regulations, privacy, policy, safety, cybersecurity mechanisms. So there plays a lot of roles about, and they also want to make sure that the apps listed into these platforms are actually catering to solve problems, and you choose a certain category, right? So you'll be choosing a category of entertainment, education, childcare. So this category has sub-specific conditions, right? For you to be listed, and that's your credibility and accreditation. So you can claim for more for your growth. So it's very important to look into these things and in these weeks. And then week 6, we'll have one-to-one follow-up calls completely. And throughout all the weeks, soon after starting from on, it's all about getting these phases. And I wanted to make sure these phase deadlines are the optimum. That's like your deadline, right? It's like, okay, phase 2 has to end on this day, is that deadline? But do we have to wait until that like an assignment? No, we are entrepreneurs, right? We can also beat these phases. And because that's one of the reason it's personalized, right? We'll go to that level, but you need to make sure that leadership is taken to go there, and we will give all the agile support to it. And of course, we'll talk about community and future support and the monetization plan. As I said, what's the revenue plan you're planning, intending to have, or the monetizations like app monetization, app scaling strategies, in-app purchases, collaborating purchases, or wallet, or if you want to extend to a market space in a while, like how that can work. So these also will talk about the launches on how to, what sort of monetization plan you can have up to the 100 users, 10,000 users, but it's a plan you will take it forward with. With that, before we wind up, or if we get into some of this latest important composition of this product development roadmap and taking your questions, let's go to one more activity. And as I said, interaction is very, very important, and I would love you to interacting with this. Let's keep joining to the Mentimeter. Brilliant. Right, I see most of you joining. Great. Tell me about a most important question. What is setting you back? What is has if your app is not in the production, or if it is not taken to a next step, this can be anything, right? If you have not launched the app, why you have not launched? Or if you have not thought about or finalize the UI UX, why haven't you taken the next step? What is setting you back? Fear, technical knowledge, money? Wow, what's more? Fear, lack of direction, budget. Well, we all talk about budget, isn't it? Right? It's yes. Sometimes money is our biggest fear too, right? Okay, trust team to hire. Wow. Okay, I really interesting composition. A team of trust to hire. It's not just the team to hire. Bugs and testing. Okay, funding, the right platform, the development issues, right? Investment. Okay, budget. So I can see budget, money, and funding taking the major composition. Wow, interesting. The family. Okay, right? Development issues, lack of tech skills, technical knowledge, right? I think we all have one of these reasons which is setting us back. But what can take us forward is making a committed effort. So any of these setback can't hold us any further. I'll answer to some of those, right? If you think money and budget as the foundational step of taking a step while developing at this stage of it, no, it can't be. It's the effort because the evaluation of entrepreneurial ecosystem, an idea and the time between an idea come to the market has been crashed down to days and hours. That's the industry and that's the era that we work in, right? In that, money can't be the reason. It's just that have we worked enough alternative efforts? Of course, funding money is important, and I would say that's where the environment of these kind of programs comes in. Your idea is sharpened, knowledge is brought in, right? You interacted through the series of coaching, mentoring work sessions on your idea, problems, workshops, guided, looked at structuring. So you have come to a stage of you know how much, but sometimes as a fear we have not worked and take the first step of it. We tentatively think we need $100,000, 100,000 dirhams, right, or XYZ, or we need to go for a capital rise. But if we really ask our question ourselves about how much, we have not really worked because we have a fear that's big for us. The moment you work, it will become smaller, accessible, and you will break down. A simple example is you might need $100,000, but you don't want it now. What you may need is a $500 to get all this environment, and it'll take us to the next stage that you don't just talk, show and talk. Visual, you have the product, and that's the MVP. Motivation, and I think important is you get your confidence and get on a journey and commit yourself. Technical knowledge in the era of AI, your knowledge and what you don't know is a one command away, right? It can be an AI command, it can be a search, but it's your command away, right? We have to make sure there's no fear. It's your ability, and we can be transparent. What we don't know is what we don't know. What we know is what we know. But we can learn it fast in this era of AI we are talking about. That is accessible and we are not far. Mobile, a command away. Partners, team building only happens if you get to build. What you attract is what you work on, right? People has to understand there's effort in your passion, and your communication is not exploration. Your conversation of building a team with a very clear product idea or a vague of product idea, because then you are looking at more inspirers, not a team to execute. You need a team to execute, partners to execute, right? At the main time, it's very important you keep executing it, right? Not having a team can't be a stop at that stage, right? But only if you work, you'll find the right team. So I think development issues and guiding coaching, we are fully there. When you have that commitment and when you have an idea, we can definitely work on. Okay, let's go next. Right. Now, we really know technically we will get a support, motivation, it's about your commitment. And now with those understanding, want to go into an entrepreneurial break, right? Reflect yourself, come back, all this fear, right? Believe in yourself to commit ready and have a break. Have a quick 5 minutes break, and I don't want to take time off your break. Let's connect back in 5 minutes.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you so much, Fawaz. Thank you, thank you. We are having a lot of questions on the chat, so after the break, you'll have to answer some of the question. Happy break to everyone. We'll be back in 4 minutes and a half. Have a coffee, replenish yourself with water for the rest of the session. Thank you.
Hi, team. I believe all most of us are back or getting back. Just would like to get a hi once you're back. Just interact. Yes, nice, nice, great, great. I need more reactions for me to be motivated. But yeah, brilliant. We all are self-motivated to get through this. Yeah. All right. I hope this break helped all of us and to reflect on product development strategy very quickly. Now let's go through, okay, how do we get to this? Now we know what we get if we get to this, right, idea of it. And before going to the submission, I also would like to take a little bit of questions which is put onto the groups. I will say specific, I think we talked about framework the mentors would prefer us to use. Uh, I would say it's going to be very suggestive environment, thinking about the uh, right. I think it's the reflection of what you intending to do, how you intend to do, but there'll be suggestions from the mentors. Technically, looking at the feasibility of it. Again, a very specific example would be building your AI structure. If you want a chatbot inside, or if you want a AI learning machine to process all your data, there are pre-development engines, or do we take that to a phase two? So this is a call between you and a technical discussion of, okay, what can you take it, or how much time can you invest on it, what's the technical expertise you have, or what's the technical support you need, and how much time it would require to get that done. So that's what your technical mentorship will be about. So in that, they would not prefer, but they would discuss to see what are the options can be feasibly achieved. So there will be recommendation, but again, wanted to say it's the entrepreneurial commitment. You commit, right? It's very important. You ask any number of questions, but make sure that is between the time frame of possibility of getting it executed. And that's it, pretty much. And I think some of most of the questions also answered. Whatever the questions not answered, a condition. Yeah. Okay. If there's any, okay. Budget is my biggest factor, and if founders doesn't have money, what happens is they need to get money from other sources. It's hard work to a full time. Money is a factor to pay for the resources as well. Right. Now, as I said, money as a factor is it's very important to how much we need. Money as a barrier, we understand. Money as an obstacle, we understand. But money is not a fear factor. Have you addressed your budget requirement? Right? Have you looked at how much, when do you need? You might really know it takes this much of dollars, but how much do you need? What is it making to the next level? Have you thought about your MVP cost? Right? You're talking about your budget of running your business, right? So that needs investments, also funding. It's the business model you choose, revenue model. Like there's these two strategy, right? You earn and burn, and you burn and earn, right? So maybe sometime when your app starts monetization, there is a cash flow into it. These are something we'll discuss at a whole business model, but that's about once after the MVP, right? But have you thought about MVP cost? Is your MVP cost is a budget fear? Maybe I don't think so, right? But maybe the money is the fear. So you need to get out of it. Let's address it. Let's take the first step, look into what's the budgetary challenge you have. And I think that's a way of entrepreneurial approach. Are we going to build an MVP only, or the full app functionality in later stage of the program? Okay. Now here, the most clear definition of this is it should be workable and scalable MVP. It's not a throwaway MVP, right? So we really don't want to do a like a visual application or technologically there's no functionalities, or it's only just a commanded code. You have something and you have not really looked into the scalability of it. No, it's not something like that. It's not a visual presentation, right? Definitely not. It should be workable and scalable technological product. It's that clear. right? So the definition of that is you are not going to have all the business functionalities of plans and all of it. This is not a presentational MVP. This is not a sketch. This is not just a documented UI UX. No, it's the workable app and which you have been involved and you are involved in creating it. So you're creating it in the most scalable way with an agile, dedicated technical support, right? But it's about building it. Hope it answers. And yeah, so brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. Yeah, I think most of that. Okay, thank you. Right, let's go through about how do we get to this program. There'll be a link launched to you soon after this program, end of this program, and you can start applying. But while you're applying, as you connect back, I'll connect back to Sarah about the evaluation criteria they talked about, the eligibility. This reflects here. And most of this is done, right? You have gone through this process already. You have an app name, you have an industry, an app idea in 1 to 2 sentence, and team members and details, company name, or a website if you have for the purpose of you're trying to apply or trying to do a submission before. It can be different cases for individual. You have a prototype, an MVP video walkthrough, most of it's taken. But you can also reflect, do you want to reflect a MVP or a thought through version, but most of it you already have. But it is important to look at this commitment and this is reflected to the skills. And the next, we'll also look at your app concept and the vision. So make sure you think through these connections to answer these questions on your application, and these are the context to it. The problem to be solved. What exactly is the problem? Do you look at a target audience? And again, why this target audience and revenue plan is important is it has to reflect in your development plan, right? So technologically, it should enable the revenue plan you are intending, or it has to be cross-validated. And the target audience is the same, right? You have to have a feature, UI, if you are looking at a product for a kid or adult or somebody who is working, or you're looking at a mental a support or a co-well-being support app or a system, and all of that has to reflect, right, in your development plan, structures you use, all of it. And the app uniqueness, be very sure about why this is unique. You are not reproducing exactly what is out there, right? Because it's not, it's, you can give a reference but you can't give a replica, right? It's very important, right? So but definitely even a replica will have an MVP. So I mean the app uniqueness. So, and the key MVP features, be very clear about how this problem is reflected on your app's features. Do you have for them to have an account, or is it a system to upload, or is it a system to interact or purchase or experience? You have clearly thought about the features. Again, quickly, let's take some questions and let's reflect some of this understanding and let's discuss it there. Let's get into Mentimeter. And team, it's the same Mentimeter, a same link and the same code, but get there and you're on the chat too. Brilliant. I see most of you joining in. Okay, I see. Super.
Okay, we're here. We are here on the Mentimeter.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right. Let's move. Right. What problem does your app solve? Put it in one word. What is the major problem you're trying to solve in one sentence? Traffic. Self-medication risk. Beautiful industry. Very supportive industry. Traffic, for sure, big problem to solve. If you are given a sentence, what would you? Learning aid. Okay, edutech, but learning aid. Young education, greenwashing, car care, automobile industry, mobile care, tourism industry, medical interactions, children, meds and challenges, parents and kids activities. Content creators being paid fairly. Brilliant. Can you also scroll down, Tim? Yeah. Okay. Farming, parent kids activities, content creator, baggage handling when traveling, on demand mechanic anytime, any place. Okay. Education, how to be a better human, and medicines confusing brand names on travel, lack of money, generate money by offering money a service. Okay. See, so we have a problem which we are solving, but which is across, right? This is what I said, it's industry specific, and it's beautiful to see most of this problem is also very important to be solved. But again, what does it reflect to this particular program is, for example, you're talking about medical interactions, right? What is the feature you are going to interact that medical interaction? If it is a mobile laboratory service, it's same with the care, right? So you are developing an app, but it also might needs an operational capability. If you're about mobile care, right, you have an app and the features, but like what is the operating, like what are exactly, if somebody is act on this app immediately, what is in it, right? That feature, that these regulatory, are you registered to do it? And most of it's a fintech, right? Lending money, taking money, withdraw, transfer, profit share anytime. And all of this financial business modeling, some of it require special processing and licensing, for example, for having a wallet so that you can own a merchant's money and distribute it. You are a distributor, and lending has a different protocol and all of it. So likewise, it's very important you have thought through and you have an idea. So that's what it's important when you're reflecting on this app. When you're applying for this, be very specific, right? In terms of how it is reflected in your product and how you are taking forward. But it's great to see some great problems. And I hope with all these things, we will be able to address more challenges. And I'm looking forward for more diverse approaches we can apply these technologies on the help. I see a lot of ecosystem support as well. Yes, let's move. All right. What does your app do to solve the problem? We talked about it. We talked again, I gave some reference. What does the app exactly do to solve the problem? For example, transport. Karim, it's solving a problem of traffic or transportation, right? How can we? It's a marketplace. I can choose a ride and a driver. An interactive reading app that helps children with dyslexia through the personalized phonics and voice narration and visual cues. Beautiful. See, it's an interactive reading app that helps children with a specialized category to make sure, and also it has the content type, voice narration, visual cues, and phonics. So these are the content types. So it's very, very important that we have that clarity. And it's a beautiful idea, right? Same with making administrators' children meds easier and helpful. Beautiful. Interact the biggest database of integrate the biggest database of medicines in the world. Okay. See, you are again, what does your app do is also when you say integrating, do you have that database? Do you know what are those database? Where can you get that database to integrate? Right? So integrate the biggest database of the medicine on the world also has to be reflected on what are the available database are you gonna build. So are you at the stage of developing the app or identifying the databases which need to be connected to? Things like that is what you need to define your app to do. But beautiful. Suggest plans and activities to parents and kid based on location and preference. See? So here, this app is also talking about location and preferences, right? Where technologically, how can the location and preferences do is your app should request permission for the location and also some of the personalized information for you to identify preferences, right? Some of these modules may have to be purchased as an API from Meta information, Meta preferences, or Google, or maybe sometime you can develop your own mechanisms of tech stack to do this. So these are where we will have these discussions about. and an interactive app that keeps the tracks of your daily habits and help you to adopt better habits for you. And the community and the planet. Okay, I will pick up the community component from here. And again, building community also has a regulatory approach in this app, the way when you list as community and the features in community, right? And the content distribution, what do you do, who is the admin, right? So there are different user profiles inside a community, and what is sort of a content it is going to go inside the community and the storage for it. So these are the technical perspective of looking at these. What does your app to do to solve the problem? Saving time managing your luggage so you don't have to, yes, that's more of the problem, but what does your app do, right? Does your app like check the last minute luggages, not utilize luggages, or do you provide a minimalistic luggage solution, right? Or is it co-sharing, right? What does your app do? What can I do in your app? Click, access, and do what, right? That's important. And can we go up a little bit on one of these app to solve? I want to take a reflect. Okay, and there is a license insurance, right? So the in life insurance and insurances policies and how does it work with regulatory, and there are app and marketplace to issue license, issue insurances, and that has to take an official gateway, and certain things has to be connected to your crib or the credit information bureau. And financial, it's possible, it's tokenization and API, but you are ready to look at those infrastructure. Good. Brilliant. So this is how I want you to decode what does your app do to the problem. In this program, you will look at, okay, this app, what are the features, what are the technical thing, and how much time it's going to take. We're going to wear that hat. Right, let's keep moving. Sorry about it. Okay. App progress. Hope you can see the screen. Current, look at what's your current app status. As I told you, is it developed? Is it through an MVP? No, you are hard coding them. What exactly? And platform is being built for what? Are you building it for iOS? Are you building it for um, Google Play Store, or do you have a different market space which is still open source? Any of the other app platforms you're looking at, something like that, and the technical breakdown of it, right? How much have you done? What are the things? If you technically detail, what have you thought through? What you have done? And if there's any features implemented so far, if you are started developing it, and what are the backend services you are using, right? Or is it completely built on Azure, AWS, connecting it to those particular infrastructural services? And your final UI designs, it'll be very important if you have thought through a final UI design which should have reflected. Maybe you need not to see if the 100% applicable to this 45 days, but if you have thought through, I think we can group to work on that. But it's very important, it's a thought through. And the user testing and the feedback, this is very important, not from a non-technical perspective, right? We would have got a lot of testing and feedback from a lot of other opinions about your idea, apps, and all of it. No, I'm talking about technical inputs on your UI, UX, tech stack that you are choosing, right? All of those is very important. Right, let's again have a few questions, and we'll talk furthermore. So we are talking about what to guide and what to take it. Yes. Asked few, and we are good. Want to make sure we go through very detail of this. So this itself is a composition we are starting to think. While this is happening, make sure you are very motivated to do this. That's very, very important, right? You need to believe in it. This is not that particular college assignment, right? So make sure. Right. It's brilliant. Let's start it. Right. Let's interact. What is your current status of your app? Okay, that's a good time. Working core features. Wow. You're working on the core features. You're almost in the MVP. Two of you are in the testing. One submission failed. Okay. You know what? You didn't fail. You have attempted. I would call it submission attempted. It's a beautiful approach. It's very important to understand what is your current status of app and reflect that in your application. Like what you are saying, when you're saying working on core features, try to reflect as much as possible in terms of what features is done and what is working. Right? When you say working, you intend to do, started to do, completion. So likewise, right? And when you say MVP also, you define what exactly you are looking at, right? What is your MVP? Have you built, hosted it? And when you say testing, what testing? Is it technical testing, feedback testing? Okay, I have a thing from Pedro too. Okay, and optimizing. So optimizing is usually once it's almost ready to be submitted and submitted. It's understandable, submitted. But very interesting to see one submission fail, which means also you have attempted and you really know what it has failed now. And one of the area we can immediately address is those, because you have gone through this process. Maybe some of those process like technology or the IP permission, or have you done the subscription modeling right, or the assets you submitted, or is it a technical validation, or maybe it's a regulatory issue. So we can identify. Important you reflect this on the thing. Okay, let's go next. And let me pick it up quick. Thing of, I would say none of these options. I have been looking for potential investors. And I think the most important part of looking at the investors is, let's go with the product. And we live in the AI age, right? All right, you can do it, Mara. You can, right? Product development strategy, as I said, we have outlined 3 phases of this accelerator, right? Phase one, in 15 days, build and test MVP. In another 15 days, pre-launch, beta testing and marketing operation. And another 15 days, app store submission and launch. It's very important you practically look at this and you be ready to commit and you are in alignment. Or you can have a different strategy, but which still achieves in these 45 days, but at least adhering to the phases. As I said, only one thing that you can do with these deadlines are the ones you can beat these deadlines, right? Phase three, you can finish it in phase two. So that is possible, right? Can you commit to this plan? Can I have it on the chat, right? Yes, no, I have a different strategy. Would like to reflect your thoughts.
Hey, Fawaz, you're muted.
Yes. Yes. Launch, I think, okay, very quickly. Sorry. Okay. A lot of yes, I'm going into the launch readiness, and reflect your launch readiness in the application. Look at your launch barrier. Have you reflected any barriers in it? And if so, what it is? Like as you said, submitted, if you've got the reasons of why the submission was rejected, or do you had problem with the store assets? And if you have availability of your Play Store assets, have you gone through that process? Reflect, and there's areas to reflect. And the Play Store submission attempts, right? Make sure you have reflected these efforts or your understanding on these things in your application. And most important, as Sarah emphasized in the start, it's all about your idea, your MVP fitting to the accelerator, and your goals and time fitting to it. It's very important to say why you are joining this accelerator. It can't be one of those things you'd love to have. It should be, okay, I'm at this, I want to do this, I have a clarity, this guidance will help me to get your dream. Because this is a step in your dream. As an entrepreneur, you'll go through a lot of process. This just have to make your road to dream faster. But this is not your destination. This is just lift, the accelerator, elevator, or the walking past bys, right? So make sure you get from this place to another place, but that is defined. And you know why you are joining. And what is the desired program outcome, which is your okay app launching, or technically cleared, technically foundationally cleared, and app is ready to be launched, or you are ready to present to the investor, which is a launched app, or first 100 customers, what is your desired program outcome, and which is reflected. Very important commitment of 20 hours a week for 45 days. It's very, very important, and this is minimalistic, I would say. You are a person would have this working at different environment, but still you are ready to be taken entrepreneurial environment, ready to commit. And most of the people who said, or including myself, when I started myself as an entrepreneur, trust me, as a tech entrepreneur, money has been my biggest fear. But today, for me, know-how and how can I get this done? The technical details of how can I get this now is the most biggest asset I look at, right? So make sure you can give your commitment to learn if you don't have much money, because it's your knowledge or money. One of these is investment. And again, come to that knowledge of rating skills. Let me be very, very clear and suggestive that when you rate your skill, these are not your skill you are accessible to. Because sometimes we feel I have that friend, I have this developer I know, I've been LinkedIning this particular developer who has told me he will support me, she has extended, or that company has told they can look at the feasibility of this and develop. So you might have some accessibility to these skills, right? But do you have that skill ready to commit to this program? So when you are rating that skill, be very clear what is the skill you can commit to this program, right? So that's very important. You reflect not the skill that you're accessible. If there's any previous app development experience, reflect that. Was it technical leadership, non-technical leadership? And then last but not the least is also the team structure, right? Is everybody is of idea champion? Is there any technical champion, or is there any market champion, right? What is your team structure, right? Sometimes it's the idea, like everybody brings the idea, but still you need a team to execute. So what is your team structure? It's very important to reflect that in your application. Yes, let's have a few more discussion on Mentimeter, and let's ahead. Okay, Kamal. Yes, I will once until we switch to the screen. I'll quickly tell. Sarah knows, my buddy knows the two I look up to, and she has worked with quite a lot of entrepreneurs. My entrepreneurial effort is mostly in terms of educational technology, building programs. I have built a curriculum with education technology, AI literacy, and our ventures. We had a live online tutoring platform. So, and then have been part of quite a lot of concept we created from a technological, business-wide leadership, and some of those, yeah, still do run.
And Fawaz, most
Yeah.
importantly, you were also you had helped last year the participant of the Create App Championship during the Accelerator program. So you're rooting for this program, and it's the second year where you're going to be supporting the participant of the Accelerator program to bring their idea to life into a mobile app.
Yes, yes. So I think the best and the greatest approach to it is all the ideas we have helped to work out to be an app. And very glad last year we had a first learning curve, and this time we really wanted to achieve. We want to keep for something entrepreneurial. I want to keep it in this program is to keep a one step ahead. You get to a market much more bigger and better for this program, and that's something we are aiming. And all this like Dubai Chamber, Sarah, Create Apps team has been bringing in a lot of support and leadership, even to our approach of technical support. Great. So finding investors and launch in Dubai, because the business environment is what you are looking at. And I have received enormous support, which I cannot compare. Wow. Okay. Beautiful. Okay. I have just taken all the questions, and we are back to the Menti. Yes. Let's go next. Most of you are in. Team, rate your skills. As I said, what is your computer basics, programming basics, and business thinking and communication? What do you think? Put your scale. Interesting, right? Um, Beautiful combinations. Okay, I love this dynamics. Okay, okay. Nice. Interesting. I can imagine, like, at what composition, if this would have been given, I would get a graph of this nature, right? Very interesting. Okay. Right. As I said, reflect, look at these, what actually you know on computer basics, what actually you know as programming, what can contribute to this. That's very important. Again, what you know, what you intend to do, what you think you may know, right? We all work in a very changing dynamics, right? I know entrepreneurs who has taken a few weeks to launch a app without not knowing a single line of code. And I also know entrepreneurs who has tech entrepreneurs, technology entrepreneurs who have been technologically advanced, has developed those programs much faster, better, and different approach to. So it's both of commitment and your technological agile to learn in the AI era, right? For you to be a tech entrepreneur, it's okay, you don't know as of now, but do you willing to know? Are you willing to put the commitment to acquire that skill? For example, let's say we fear sometime coding environment, product development environment, and we have a justice, okay, you know what, I don't know programming code. Okay, it's great that you have accepted we don't know, and most of the things that I've learned have learned the same way, except I don't know, but learn. As an entrepreneur, your skill have to be keep learning. As a step, if you're willing to learn, right, make sure, but in your application reflect what is your skill levels. Right, let's go. Right, as I said, we are bringing to a last few set of approaches towards it. Post-launch vision, what are your long-term goals for your app after the program, right? Have a reflection of that, have a thought about that, thinking about, okay, soon after MVP, what is your immediate from the next day? After the 46th day, like, what are you going to do about it until for how long, right? Reflect about this in your programs. And very important, very, very important, and this program is exclusively run and going to run in English fluency in terms of coding environment, development environment, communication, technical support, but doesn't mean it's limiting any other language, right? You can have AI, you can have other languages embedded into your app, or to different market audience. Maybe you're working to an audience which is Arabic spoken market foundationally, or a Hindi spoken, or an English spoken, or where you are looking at a European different market, you want a different customization of a specific language, could be supported through technological AI, but most of this is going to be contextually in English. So that's one of the information, and most of the any other relevant details on the Q&A, if you need to, we're more than willing to answer. Yes, last attempt on the Menti. Guys, the reflection of this program is equally reflection. We need you to drive this product development strategy. If you see, if this program can't move, if you don't respond, simple as menti.com, right? So this is how the product development and this journey of technical support is going to be, or the program support is going to be. You got to react, you got to request, like on demand, agile supports, and all of it. All right, let's get to the question. How would you rate your proficiency in English for the fun of it? And you know what? I would rate myself very low sometimes. All right. Fluent, native speaker, beautiful, and beginner. Okay, you know what? This stage is all about as far as you're willing to take it forward in English. This is just fun to know. It's a compositions, and we all keep learning, right? Language keep learning. So it's all motivated. I think great level to be, and we have almost everyone in this call were completely in terms of language perspective. Right, let's move. Let's keep the dynamics. Okay, tell me about the gap. What is the gap you're feeling right now? Is the product idea? So what exactly you are, right? Is it about validated and clearly defined technical resources and need to be built for applicate? What are exactly? What are the gaps you're looking at? Okay, rate. Okay, okay. So this is the okay, interesting. Right. Beautiful. So most of you have worked highly towards validating your idea and clearly defining. Some of you also in halfway of technical resources, and some of you even have a good, clear strategy and launching and acquisition users. Beautiful. But again, reflect this, right? Where you are, what are the gaps? As much as possible, you reflect. See, the more you understand better what you want, is the greater chance of being great spot of this 24 or 20 plus possibilities of being part of this journey. All right, let's move. Great. Okay. Finally, towards the dream. Let's get to Mentimeter and ask all the questions we have, and let's clarify them. And I would like Sarah to join in hands in this too. There's
I'm
all.
here. So we have a couple of questions already on the chat.
Okay. Let me.
Right. So you can either drop your question on the chat, continue, or go on Mentimeter to drop your question over there as you like. But we'll address some of them, okay?
Okay. Great. So when building a team, what criteria should I use when assessing applicants, and what qualities are key in CTO? And it's a very much of a qualitative approach, but yeah, in just simple answer to it, it's very important they understand your passion and mutual passion, and you know why you want. Collaboration doesn't begin without a contribution. So if you're collaborating with someone, contribution, that's my answer on that. Any
Uh,
other questions I missed, Sarah?
Yeah, actually, for the founder, Mahra Al Husseini, she's a finalist of the Create App Championship. So I know she has a startup in the pharma industry. So when you're looking for CTO specifically for your industry, I think it's very important to look at his background to ensure that he has the technical knowledge on data infrastructure, cybersecurity, AI, bioinformatics, and most importantly, anything related to compliance and data privacy. So I would say look at the HIPAA, GDPR, and see how, if he has the knowledge and technical background for that when you look at your CTO. For sure, the leadership is important. He needs to share the same passion as you, but specifically for the pharma industry, if he has like a experience in that, in running startup in the healthcare industry, that will be a big plus for you. All right. So there's a question that we have answered on the chat on the side, but there's a question Fawaz for you specifically. Is it possible from Marcin Nowak? Is it possible to move a code from Obsidian to have running display visualization of Python with moving letters or animated during the app?
I think I need to get to that question specifically, but yeah, I'm trying to get to that question on the screen just to understand. I've got the
On the
technology.
Q&A, yeah, on the Q&A section. So there's a question from Marcin that is related to
Okay,
coding
got it.
Python, yeah.
Yes, got it. Is it possible to move the code from Obsidian to have a running display visualization of Python with moving letters or animate it during that? So I think technically how you can get it is both of the way it's possible. In case if the animation or the content you use has more purpose than just displaying it once, viewing it once, and this as a feature, both is possible. And there are also different APIs for some of these functionalities, right? So we can also get into that. So is there a straight approach? No, but yes, we will be able to provide both of this technical approach. But again, as you said, it's about what is the purpose of it, and it's connecting to that. But simply yes. Okay. If I have the web skills as outsource, is it easy to do the app with? Sarah, your thought on that before I go?
Yeah,
Can
please. No, please. Yeah.
So if I have the website built to outsource, is it easy to do the app with? See, what I consider as outsourcing is ability to get your certain task done without utilization of your time, which you have a money to pay, which is a resource, right? It's very simple. So if you are planning to outsource and you are intending to outsource, I mean, if that was your plan, you can bring that as your technical team. right? They can be part of this to make sure this is built so that we could guide and extend further, right? So that's in terms about outsourcing. But as this program, we don't have any restriction whether you outsource. It's like you are getting another resource to work for you. We shouldn't have a major challenge on that. And how to cover any fees during the app development and after publishing?
So for that, for the fees related to the fees, it's a very good question. Essentially, what we'll be covering is the technical mentorship, but any cost that comes with the associated costs are covered by the founder of the startup. So that will be for you to cover because it's your startup. So you're the full owner of your startup and your mobile app, and you'll be responsible of covering the cost that comes with the mobile app development per se. If I go to the same kind of question, we have a question related to the submission. So by the end of this call, we share a QR code with you, and you'll be able to apply online to the Accelerator program. It will take like 10 to 15 minutes. Most of you have already applied for the competition, so it will be an easy process. We'll be asking you for the prototype to share the most recent MVP or a most recent prototype that you've developed for us to have a look at it and give you the right support. So even if it's longer than 1 minute, it's perfectly fine. We just want to assess at which stage you are in developing your app and then help you accordingly. I'm going to the question that leads me to the question of we are working on for the past 6 months. On 45 days, you'll be launching your MVP. So of course, we'll not be launching the full app because there are so many different features, but we'll look at the MVP itself to launch on iOS and Android to speed up the process of launching your app on Android and iOS. So developing an app can take a short period of time or long period of time. It depends on the wireframe that you've developed and the functionality and features that you've developed. So the element of timing depends also on the element of the mobile app, the nature of your mobile app. So you are I'll leave the technical question to you, Fawaz. I'll cover the question related to the Accelerator program.
Yeah,
so
sure.
once you submit your application for the Accelerator program, you are acknowledging that every expenses that may occur will be yours. From our side, we're supporting you for free on how to create your MVP and anything technical, whether it's coding, no code or low code, we'll be providing you support with that, regardless of the platform that you are using. So that's our commitment to you. And any cost that comes with subscription, Figma, or any cost that comes with AWS will be, of course, under your responsibility and liability, because our job is to accelerate the launch of your app and to put you on track for you to be successful. But at the end, it is your responsibility as a startup founder to invest in the cost, because we don't have any equity or stake in your startup. So we are providing you a platform to accelerate the growth of creating your mobile app. Then on the 25th, by the 25th of April, I covered that, but I'll mention it again. We are going to share by the end of this call a QR code through which you will have to apply, and then we will provide you with the final announcement of those who are selected for the Accelerator program on the 9th of May. Asma, can we submit a different idea from the one we submitted to the competition? Yes, as long as the idea is not at the very early stage. So if you want to apply to this Accelerator program, we are assuming that even if it's a different idea, you've researched it, you've validated the idea, and you've built a prototype that you can submit on via the form that we'll be sharing. Is there a maximum number of teams to participate? There is a maximum of 24 teams that can take part of this accelerator program. And just take into account that we're providing personalized and customized support for every startup. So it's not like a bulk support, but it's more of a hands-on and a personalized support that we'll be providing for every single team. You'll have a dedicated technical mentor. So it's not a competition per se, it is a platform, an accelerator program that helps you launch your business. The reason why you came to the Create App Championship is because you had an idea. We help you develop that idea with the workshop that we provided for 6 months. Now we are just providing you as part of the Create App in Dubai initiative, we are providing you extra support for you to launch your mobile app on iOS and Android. The Dubai Chamber of Digital Economy is a non-profit organization. So our mission is really to provide you with the skills for you to be successful in your mobile app business. Okay.
Right.
Now, Fawaz, how to link the app that they will build with their website?
Okay. So you see the web login, right? What you mean by this is when you go to their website for you to have a web login of the app that you published is what you mean by that. It's matter of a button to bring it there. You just have to give like an HTML code for your app developer to do that. They can integrate. But however, you are the technology owner of this. So as Sarah explained, the whole idea of this is not we own the infrastructure. Why you pay for your infrastructure, whatever the infrastructure you decide to do is it's in your control. So there is no restrictions of this particular technical support that you are not able to share anything. So basically you can integrate your website and the app, which is if you are meaning of login, yes, straightforward. And also, do we learn to switch off and delete the MVP if we plan to start building the real-time fully coded? Yes, but for that, we really would like to say, when you say switch off or delete, the effort of building this app, why do you have to delete it? Because do you don't have a phase 2, or if this is just a basic MVP that you are looking at, what is the basis on that? Because as Sarah explained, we are not expecting an idea from an early stage, right? So if you have an idea, if there's technical support, if you are going to technically own the infrastructure, why do you want to delete? In such conditions, there's only few options you can have, because for you to delete the app or the delete the whole MVP, simple thing is removing the app from your Google Play console, right? It's simple as that. The secondary is the other infrastructure, you still own it. You just have removed the submission out, right? So it's reworking on all of those, but yeah, possible. What platform will be used to develop the app and how to keep the cost for minimal? Does the mentors will guide us to? Definitely, yes. The whole idea of this is we also don't want you to spending thousands of dollars to get this done in 45 days, right? It's very clear. But what we say is the minimum infrastructures you need to have a app. So for example, we are not going to ask you to have a hosting service to have 10,000 concurrency users. But as far as it can at least handle 50, so that you know as you grow, you will pay for those hostings and expand it further, right? But there will be a lot of understanding of what technical features you are choosing, and monthly subscription, annual subscription, which you will pay for it directly. There won't be an involvement from us, right? So it's you have a lot of accountability to be what to choose and how to go. And technically, we will validate what it has, and we'll work with you hands on. As Sarah calls us as a tech buddy, like we'll be your tech buddy, right? Right. So, but with very clear Sarah's motivation, what she said about look, it's not for early ideas, right? It's you have thought through. And what
Yeah,
benefit you get by winning? I'm going to give it to Sarah. Yeah, sorry.
because the thing is, all participants have been through an extensive 6-month training on how to develop their idea, do the market research, build the prototype. So they are not beginner per se. They have done the job. and they are also quite aware of how to develop a business model, business plan. So that's why I mentioned that it's not for early stage, because I'm aware that they are not at early stage already. It's quite amazing per se to have a community that is knowledgeable already, and we are happy to support all of you developing your mobile app and launching it.
Super.
All right. Any other question related to tech? Yes, we do.
I'm looking at.
So, if we are not selected for the accelerator program, will it be still possible to stay in touch and contact you to receive support, legal procedure, launching the business app once the app is created? Of course, yes, we'll be very happy to support you with that. So for that, we encourage you to drop us a note on createapps@bncpublishing.net. The team will share the link on the chat box and give us send us an email, and we'll connect you with the team at the Dubai Chamber of Digital Economy, the Business in Dubai team, who will help you with that. In the same time, if you want to start the process before launching your app, you can also let us know, and we'll connect you with the team to help you get your trade license and set up your business in Dubai. They will support you with the knowledge of who to reach out to do so.
So a few technical aspect that I've seen is I'm developing the way to use Obsidian. I think that was answered. Okay, you said thanks for putting the light. And on the Q&A, do you see anything? Is there any giving? Okay, that I think already Sarah answered. And guys, do we have any more questions on the screen?
Yes, actually, we do have more questions. So I'll cover and then I'll flag those that will require your input, Fawaz.
Thank you.
So there is one related to the benefits to get if you get accepted, because this is not a competition, it's an accelerator program. So the benefit is that you will have access to a technical expert who will be with you during 45 days to help you launch your app on iOS and Android. And this is valuable in the sense that, for example, some of you are already working in silo, and sometimes you need to have a technical expert to help you or answer your question or help you develop some features. And this is where we are. So we are acting as consultant for your mobile app, for your mobile app to help you launch and like a technical consultant. So in case of someone has asked, in case I was delayed in 1 week, I don't understand this question. If you can elaborate on that on the chat, we'll be happy to reply. Is there someone who is anonymous on the Q&A? Is there any giving back requirement after we graduate from the program? Are you mentioning that you would like to be part of the community and give back to the community? Is this what you mean? Please let me know what you mean by giving back requirement. If we are asking you to take part of any other program, we are not. There is no requirement of giving back, but if you want to give back in the next session, or if you want to help your peers, or if you want to take part of the tech community, we'll be happy to have you, give back to the community. Like some of the participants last year, finalists and semi-finalists of the last edition, they became like ambassador of the Create App Championship, and they also have been a mentor for some of them. For international applicant, how can we launch our app in Dubai? Fawaz, I will leave this tech question to you. How can they launch the app on the App Store in Dubai if they are not based in Dubai?
Yeah, so you do not have a specific restriction as far as it requires a license. But once you register as a UAE, if you want a UAE listed in it, you need to have a resident permit or some sort of a validation when you are creating this account that you have a relevance to Dubai or a trade license. But there is no any specific regulatory issues in terms of to be in Dubai, but you need to show the relevance. This is what we say about developing your accounts. developing your developer account, this is where it's very important.
Yeah, because then it gives
Hope
them
that
ownership
answers.
of the account itself, right? Right for us?
Yeah, correct, absolutely.
Okay. Then any other question? What is the okay, you answered to that question, right? So I'll go back to the Q&A and ensure that we've answered all questions. All right, one of my relatives want to create an app idea, but with smaller age. Can we still participate? The Create App Championship, was open for participants as young as 14 years old. And the Create App Accelerator program is open to those who were part of the Create App Championship. So I would say there is no age for creating an app. To take part of the Accelerator program, you need to have been part of the Create App Championship and to be a minimum of 14 years old. I'll go back to the question that we answered. In case of some of you have not read it, I will say them. So the last day to register and to apply is on the 25th of April, and we'll after that we'll do one-on-one call with every applicant to ensure that you are fit for the Accelerator program, and we'll ensure that you are also aware of who will make it to the accelerator program by the 9th of May. Then this is a very important question. Do all founders need to be in the UAE physically to undergo this accelerator program? No. All the program is online, so you don't need to be physically based in Dubai, but you need to commit to 28 hours and you need to commit to bearing the cost that comes with developing your mobile app. So the program remains for mobile app only. We will help you develop iOS. We will help you develop your MVP for iOS and Android. It is not for web app based. We will not help you develop your web app. However, if you have a web app already and you want to convert it into a mobile app, we'll help you do that. So if we launch our app, shall it be registered as a UAE-based company, and will you help us with the process? If you launch your app, and you want to be registered as a UAE-based company, we will help you with that. Yes, I will connect you with the Dubai Chamber of Digital Economy, Business in Dubai team. So I think I answered all the questions, and now on the chat we have a very technical question from Marcin. I don't know if you've seen it. It is Marcin. Are you here? Okay. So there is a question related to the MVP version of the app. They've submitted on the Apple Store a week ago. Do I need to delete it in order to apply? Look, this question actually is, I'm gonna need your input, Fawaz, for that, because I know there is a very specific process for iOS. And what if the app is rejected? And how long does it take for the App Store to approve the MVP? Fawaz.
Fawaz has lost connection. He'll be rejoining.
Okay.
You can carry on with any other questions until then.
Yeah. So we have another question from an anonymous attendee. Can we get golden visa after launching the app? Actually, that question will be more for the authority that are in charge of the golden visa. From our side, we are committed to providing you technical support, but for the golden visa, it will be a different authority. So the App Olympic finished. Is this part 2? Can I still develop an app in Dubai fully funded? Thank you for your question, Omar. This is the Accelerator program that is open for people who took part of the Create App Championship. And we are not providing a fund. The Create App Championship competition happens once a year, and there are 4 prizes, and it is the competition you went through. So we will update you on the next step for the next edition as soon as we receive the updates. We have 2 participants who raised hand. The first one is Abida Khan. Abida, are you here? And the second one is Faisal Bashir, who was a semi-finalist at the Create App Championship. So I'll give the floor to Abida Khan. Hi, Abida. Abida? Can you unmute yourself?
Sarah,
All right.
do you want me to take any questions until they come?
Yeah. While Abida is, if she's listening to us, just drop us a note on the chat and we'll allow you to talk again. Let's give the floor to Faisal Bashir, who was a semi-finalist at the Create App Championship. Faisal, the floor is yours. Faisal?
Hello, how are you?
I'm good. What about you?
I'm good, thank you very much. How is everyone? And for us, thank you so much for the introduction and the layout of the program today. It was really informative. Thank you so much. So, what would you like me to discuss about the competition or about?
I saw you raise your hand, so I.
Oh no, sorry, I was playing around with my I was just playing around. I was trying to find some mute button.
Okay, but you can give us a few words if you want about your experience as a semi-finalist and as you're developing your prototype, what are your recommendations for people who are here?
Yeah, sure. So obviously starting from back from October last year when we went through the whole program and then submitting in December to then just waiting in January. That was a long wait, by the way. But it was good when we got to the semi-finals. It was good because from the semi-finals to the finals, we learned a lot, especially the 24 teams. TMO came like through so wonderfully, and so did you guys, helping everyone come together with like building all our applications, building the business side, and now obviously with this program building the technical side of the business. It's fantastic, exactly what Dubai Chambers is doing to help these businesses really push forward with the ideas. With my side, like obviously I've done the business side now, and now it's just working on the technical side. So what I would say definitely to everyone, like don't stop, just keep going. If you have a plan and you think your business is going to work, just keep going. Like don't stop at all. Just believe in your idea, like I am. I got to the semi-finals and I didn't make it to the finals for special reasons. But yeah, it doesn't mean I stop, because in this game, you're not really a loser or anything like that. You shouldn't really you're always going to have roadblocks. You're always going to have like things in the way, obstacles, but that's what makes you a great entrepreneur. Like you have to really push and go above those boundaries.
Thank you so much, Faisal. Thank you very much, and it was great to be with you during all this time. So thank you for going through all the process for your testimonial. Let's go back to now the Q&A. So I have technical question. I was saying if someone has submitted the MVP version of the app on the Apple Store a week ago, do they need to delete it in order to apply? So the question here is knowing App Store takes a lot of time. How does it work? Because by the time,
Yeah. Thank you very much, sir. I mean, first of all, congratulations for submitting it to the Apple Store, which you have done it. As you know, once you submit, there will be a lot of review. I'm sure your status will change whenever it goes in the App Store, it's automatic responses, automatic review. It changes to the app in review or app required actions. So until you get it approved, there's a multiple action to it. Once you have officially submitted, the timeline is only for review, right? Review and rectification. These are the only two things it can take the time up to getting it published. So we can definitely help you in the rectification process. But however, if there is no any strategic reason why you are not on the Play Store, right? If you want to bring this up to the Play Store, we can still support, right? So we that can be taken up, and necessarily you need not to delete because still not yet published. It's under review, and you might require a lot of technical intervention based on the review that they're gonna come. So there is no requirement to delete. Sarah, hope it answers.
Thank you so much, Fawaz. So that's a very good answer. It should not be published on the App Store or on the Android. Another question, do I need to have a new phone to use for testing apps? He or she's not a big fan of.
Okay. So what was the question again? Do I use it?
So I mean, I can, like, do they need to have a new phone to use or to test apps? So for app testing.
Okay. As I said, when the app testing for your personal purpose versus the for Google Play console purpose, for the regulatory purpose is two different contexts, right? So as far as you have multiple Google accounts, you can test it. So what they measure is the Google account. What this particular testing is done, and it's usually about 14 devices they define. So they put it to 14 users, right? 14 devices. So that is in terms of regulatory or in terms of mandatory approach of your test review mechanism in the Google Play Store. But the new phone, old phone is all about your Google account. As far as it's a mobile phone which can have multiple accounts, I don't see any restrictions.
Thank you so much, Fawaz. And with that, we are concluding our call. So we'll be sharing the QR code that will lead you to the application form on the next slide. And you will have until the 25th of April to apply for the Create App Championship Accelerator program. All right. Right, so please scan the QR code. You also have a dedicated page on the Create App Championship platform that is dedicated for the Accelerator program. So if you want to have more information about the Accelerator program, refer to that. And also please scan the QR code and submit. It's a very straightforward submission that you will go through. It will take 10 to 15 minutes. And you'll have until the 25th of April to do so. The sooner the better, just because we have 24 spots. So it's a very limited number of teams, but we are going to look at those who are most motivated and most importantly, who are willing to bring the app to App Store and to Android as soon as possible. So we really need to select those who have the entrepreneurial mindset and want to build the MVP and launch it on Android or iOS in 45 days. Now, depending, I'm just mentioning this on the call because it's very important. iOS and Android has two different requirements. So we will look at your mobile app. You will look at your wireframe and see if it will be relevant to launch it on Android first and then iOS, or if you're ready to be launched on iOS. It's very important so you understand where we stand and what kind of support we'll be providing you. And we are also very excited to be connecting with you every week for check-in. And you have the House Space community. If you have any question, you can reach out to us on Create Apps at BNC Publishing. If you need any support from the Dubai Chamber of Digital Economy in launching your business, we will connect you directly with Business in Dubai team. And also we will provide you the relevant information for the Accelerator program if you have any question. The recording of this session will be available on HouseSpace by Monday. So I would like to thank you all for attending the call, and most importantly for being part of a movement of game changer, of people who are really making wave in the tech industry. We need innovator and bold mindset like yours, and we are very pleased and honored to have you with us on the Create Apps Championship Community Hub. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Happy learning!